3.2 Corporate Performance Results, total 200 points. This subcriterion focuses on the importance of measuring the participating company's achievement and the impact of their people-centric strategies on overall corporate performance. It encompasses the in-depth evaluation of the interplay between workforce-related policies, systems, and practices by selecting and implementing a list of the most meaningful indicators that align with the key elements of award criteria 1 and 2. To pave the way for lasting organizational success and prosperity, participating companies place special emphasis on monitoring, understanding, predicting, and improving their performance related to employee relations and welfare. It assesses the organization's capability to excel in areas such as workforce strategy, facilities and resources, occupational health and safety, recruitment, compensation, training, communication, diversity, tolerance, creativity, innovation, work-life harmony, and well-being. The key performance measure categories based on the Taqdeer Award framework may include, but are not limited to, the following. 3.2.1 Workforce Strategy and Policies. 3.2.2 Corporate Facilities and Resources. 3.2.3 Occupational Health, Safety and Security. 3.2.4 Recruitment and Compensation. 3.2.5 Training and Career Development. 3.2.6 Communication and Transparency. 3.2.7 Workforce Relations. 3.2.8 Engagement, Diversity and Tolerance. 3.2.9 Creativity and Innovation. 3.2.10 Work-life harmony and well-being. Let's explore the details of each. Measuring workforce efficiency and effectiveness. When measuring workforce performance results, participating companies need to strike a balance in selecting measures that focus on both efficiency and effectiveness. Input and process measures, such as the average time to fill a vacancy, address the question, are we doing things right? On the other hand, output and outcome measures, such as the percentage of workforce turnover, focus on the question, are we doing the right things? Company results can be presented in various formats, including percentages, ratios, absolute numbers, ratings, or rankings. 3.2.1 Workforce Strategy and Policies Results, 20 points. To better prepare for the Taqdeer Award submission and assessment, companies shall also try to keep in mind the key elements that the assessors might look for in each subcriteria element. For this subcriteria element, assessors might be looking for a selected number of important performance results as relevant to the participating company from various input, process, output, or outcome measures, which may include, but are not limited to: % of the workforce strategy executed as planned, % HR policies, procedures, and processes communicated to the concerned workforce, % of the workforce received or has access to HR manuals and employee handbooks, % compliance with non-discrimination, equal opportunities, forced labor, and anti-harassment policies and regulations. % of employees are fully aware of labor rights, duties, responsibilities, and a code of ethics. Number of internal or external assessments and audits carried out in the past 12 months. % of non-compliance resulted from internal and external assessments and audits. Or % of corrective actions completed on time, etc. The above are some common measures used by various organizations across different industries. They are not checklists that must be universally adopted by every participating company. On the contrary, depending on the industry, your corporate talent strategy, and business priorities, each company should select distinctive and the most relevant corporate performance measures for each of the Taqdeer Award key focus areas. 3.2.2 Corporate Facilities and Resources, 20 points. For this subcriteria element, assessors might be looking for a selected number of important performance results as relevant to the participating company from various input, process, output, or outcome measures, which may include, but are not limited to: % of job holders trained on the use of tools, equipment, and technology, % of equipment and tools successfully and timely maintained and serviced, Number of housing and accommodation facility audits carried out. Percent of eligible job holders receive adequate housing allowance. Annual budget dedicated to sports facilities and activities. Percent of employees participating in sports events or competitions. Number of company transport car accidents in the past 12 months. Percent of scheduled employee transportation services are on time. Percent of fully maintained company vehicles. Number of current resource inventories and assessments carried out, or number of agreements or MOUs signed with partners. 3.2.3 Occupational Health, Safety and Security, 20 points. For this subcriteria element, assessors might be looking for a selected number of important performance results as relevant to the participating company from various input, process, output, or outcome measures, which may include, but are not limited to: percent of the workforce covered by the corporate group adequate medical insurance, health benefits, and coverage. Percent of the workforce participated in awareness campaigns on disease prevention and wellness programs. Average sick days per employee per year. Number of lost working hours due to accidents. Number of major and minor injuries recorded. Number of safety concerns, incidents, and near misses reported by employees. Percent of OHS policies and procedures reviewed and updated. Number of OHS assessments and audits carried out. Number of safety concerns, incidents, and near misses reported by employees. Percent of OHS policies and procedures reviewed and updated. Number of OHS assessments and audits carried out. Number of OHS awareness and training sessions attended by employees. Number of emergency response trainings and drills conducted. Number of OHS equipment and tools audits and inspections completed. Number of training hours on occupational safety. Or, number of safety or security incidents and emergencies were handled successfully. As a reminder, these are not checklists, rather, depending on the industry, your corporate talent strategy, and business priorities, each company should choose distinctive and the most relevant corporate performance measures for each of the Taqdeer Award key focus areas. 3.2.4 Recruitment and Compensation, 20 points. For this subcriteria element, assessors might be looking for a selected number of important performance results as relevant to the participating company from various input, process, output, or outcome measures, which may include, but are not limited to: percent of employees with clear job descriptions. Average qualified candidates per vacancy. Average time to fill a vacancy. First-year turnover rate. Percent of workforce turnover. Semi-skilled and skilled versus professional and supervisory job holders ratio. Percent of new employees received ready workspaces, equipment, and access on the first working day. Percent of new employees completed orientation and onboarding programs. Total amount of the performance-based bonuses paid to employees. Percent of employees receive timely payment of wages, overtime, benefits, and incentives. Or, percent of employees with valid work permit and residence visa. 3.2.5 Training and Career Development, 20 points. For this subcriteria element, assessors might be looking for a selected number of important performance results as relevant to the participating company from various input, process, output, or outcome measures, which may include, but are not limited to: annual training and development budget. Number of on-the-job training hours per employee. Percent employees with the required competencies. Number of future skills development programs delivered. Percent of employees with a career path. Percent of employees with personal development plan. Number of employees participated in the coaching and mentoring program. Percent of internal coaches and mentors completed relevant training. Number of employees promoted in the past 12 months. Or, percent of vacancies filled by internal recruitment. Again, these are not checklists. Depending on the industry, your corporate talent strategy, and business priorities, each company should select distinctive and the most relevant corporate performance measures for each of the Taqdeer Award key focus areas. 3.2.6 Communication and transparency, 20 points. For this sub-criteria element, assessors might be looking for a selected number of important performance results as relevant to the participating company from various input, process, output, or outcome measures, which may include, but are not limited to: number of communication channels available to employees. Percent of employees are communicated to and aware of company policies and procedures. Number of meetings between management and employee representatives. Percent of employees participated in the employee satisfaction and feedback surveys. Percent of employees recognized and rewarded for providing valuable feedback. Number of open forums or town hall meetings conducted. Percent of managers completed performance assessment and review training. Percent of employees receive recognition and reward for good performance. Percent of employees aware of performance-based rewards and recognition criteria. Percent of employees rewarded annually. Value of annual rewards received by employees. Or, percent of employees with performance improvement plans. 3.2.7 Workforce relations, 20 points. For this sub-criteria element, assessors might be looking for a selected number of important performance results as relevant to the participating company from various input, process, output, or outcome measures, which may include, but are not limited to: percent of employees are aware of the fair treatment and justice policies and guidelines. Percent of employees receive learning and career advancement opportunities. Percent of employees with clear goals and job expectations. Percent of resolved complaints on time. Number of complaints received from employees. Number of grievances resolved. Number of non-compliances raised by governmental entities. Or, number of employee complaints registered with the Labor Authority. 3.2.8 Engagement, diversity and tolerance, 20 points. For this sub-criteria element, assessors might be looking for a selected number of important performance results as relevant to the participating company from various input, process, output, or outcome measures, which may include, but are not limited to: number of employees with determination. Workforce diversification ratio. Ratio of elementary and skilled employees versus professional and managerial employees. Percent of female employees. Number of management consultative meetings with employees and workforce representatives. Percent of employees involved in team-building activities. The number of employees who are members of functional or cross-functional teams. Number of diverse teams with members from different backgrounds, levels, skill sets, etc. Number of celebrations, cultural, and diversity-related events carried out, or percent of employees are briefed on the zero-tolerance policy for discrimination, harassment, and bias. As a reminder, these are not checklists, rather, depending on the industry, your corporate talent strategy, and business priorities, each company should choose distinctive and the most relevant corporate performance measures for each of the Taqdeer Award key focus areas. 3.2.9 Creativity and innovation, 20 points. For this sub-criteria element, assessors might be looking for a selected number of important performance results as relevant to the participating company from various input, process, output, or outcome measures, which may include, but are not limited to: number of cross-functional teams. Number of creative and innovative training programs conducted for employees. Number of staff members participating in innovation training. Percent of employees who participated in the innovation challenges or idea competitions. Total number of ideas generated per year. Percent of innovative ideas implemented from the total submitted ideas. Percent increase in implemented creative suggestions. Number of ideas or concepts in the pipeline. Number of innovative solutions adopted. Number of new products, services, or systems implemented from employees' suggestions. Percent of staff involved in innovation initiatives. Percent of staff and teams recognized for innovation. Number of teams and individuals rewarded for innovation. Or, average number of innovative ideas submitted per employee per year. 3.2.10 Work-life harmony and well-being, 20 points. For this sub-criteria element, assessors might be looking for a selected number of important performance results as relevant to the participating company from various input, process, output, or outcome measures, which may include, but are not limited to: percent decrease in overtime, percent of employees taking annual leave, number of work-life balance initiatives implemented, percent of employees attended mental health prevention training or awareness sessions, number of mental well-being resources and support provided to employees, percent of employees participating in volunteer initiatives, average volunteer hours or days per employee, number of social events organized by the company, percent of employees participating in CSR initiatives or events, or number of employees are recognized and rewarded for CSR and volunteering activities. Depending on the industry, your corporate talent strategy, and business practices, each company should choose distinctive and the most relevant corporate performance measures for each of the Taqdeer Award key focus areas. During assessment, the assessors might focus on the following: the set of relevant key measures that demonstrate the achievement of workforce care and impact, frequency of measurement, reliability and accuracy of data measurement, analysis, and results, performance data, analysis, and reports, performance results with relevant segmentation, performance baseline and targets, and corporate performance results review and enhancement, etc. When preparing for the assessment and site visit, here are some possible questions that you may keep in mind. How do you choose this set of relevant key measures that demonstrate the achievement of workforce care and impact? Who is responsible for and involved in the selection of corporate performance results? How frequently do you measure and report performance results? Who carries out the performance data collection, analysis, and reporting? How do you ensure the reliability and accuracy of your data measurement, analysis, and results? How does the company ensure performance data is analyzed properly? Who carries out the data analysis? How do you segment performance results to gain better insights, such as departments, job categories, new versus long-serving employees, age groups, origin, etc.? Who is responsible, and how do you set the performance baseline and targets? Criterion 3.2 Corporate Performance Results Sample Charts. Unlike Criteria 1 and 2, Criterion 3 Results and Impact section relevant measures and KPIs data, targets, and results shall be presented by well-organized tables and charts as shown in the sample here. Companies shall present their results for the past 3 years with relevant targets, actual achievement, trends, segmented results, etc. In this example, the table shows the percentage of employees rewarded annually for the years 2021, 2022, and 2023. The table on the lower side is an example of segmented results for employees' communication and feedback, covering the number of consultation meetings with management, the number of employee grievances, the number of complaints received from employees, and the number of suggestions received from employees. Taqdeer Award Star Ratings. The Taqdeer Award is a score and merit-based star rating award. For the 2024 award cycle, we have adopted a new 7-star rating system to recognize participating companies' workforce care based on their performance and total scores achieved against the Taqdeer Award framework and criteria. Therefore, there is no specific number of winners in each star category. The number of winners will be determined based on the scores achieved by each participating company. Companies scored between 200–299 points will be recognized as 1 star, and the company's workforce care performance will be recognized as reaching the basic awareness level. Companies scored between 300 and 399 points will be recognized as 2 stars, and the company's workforce care performance will be recognized as needs compliance level. Companies scored between 400 and 499 points will be recognized as 3 stars, and the company's workforce care performance will be recognized as operational compliance level. Companies scored between 500 to 599 points will be recognized as 4 stars, and the company's workforce care performance will be recognized as meeting expectations level. Companies that scored between 600 to 699 points will be recognized as 5 stars, and the company's workforce care performance will be recognized as exceeding expectations. Companies scored between 700 to 799 points will be recognized as 6 stars, and the company's workforce care performance will be recognized as national aspirations level. Finally, companies scored between 800 and more points will be recognized as having 7 stars, the highest level, and the company's workforce care performance will be recognized as having a global aspirations level. A prize of UAE Dirham 1 million will be awarded to the highest scoring 7-star award winner. We are looking forward to welcoming the participating companies to strive for the highest stars in the Taqdeer Award.